Hello, this is the Tradesight Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 12th of January 2014 and ending on Friday the 17th. Hope you had a great start of the year in trading. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart on the right side of your screen, and you'll notice that we got a 13 sell signal on Thursday. We got a risk line in place. As I've said, I'm not too excited about this sell signal simply because it doesn't even come higher than the 9-bar setup phase that we had to start the count. That's not usually a big deal, meaning it doesn't usually turn into a very influential signal. But so far we have rolled over, so we'll keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, here's the euro-dollar daily chart. Absolutely nothing going on here. Very flat, 400 pips of range for the most part for the last 4 or 5 months. Dead in the middle of that range, and no real counts going on. So there's nothing to say there. You flip it to the pound dollar, you hear the sound. We got a 13 sell signal on Thursday here. So this is interesting. The dollar index getting a sell signal, but the pound getting a sell signal against the dollar, which is for strength in the dollar if that happens. So kind of conflicting symbols there. We'll see what that, or signs there. We'll see what that turns into. Here's the Aussie dollar. You can see when it had its 13 sell signal back in October. Obviously, that was a rollover point in the Aussie. Now let's look at the intra-week action. Here's a look at the euro dollar and 30-minute bars for the week. And honestly, until the NFP data on Friday, you can see that we had very narrow range. The high before that around 36.50, the low not barely 35.50. Almost 80-90 pips of range for the entire week on the euro dollar. That's really, really poor. And we didn't have much going on that symbol for sure. If you flip and look at the pound dollar, we did have a couple of winners here, but look at the action again, very flat. So the Forex market has not picked up coming back from the new year, and so will continue to be half size for the most part. It's unfortunate, but there's not much else to be said about that. It is what it is. Let's go through the economic data coming out in the week ahead as we head into what is already technically the third week of January. So this will be options expiration on Friday. In January, we're also heading into earnings season here in the U.S., which isn't necessarily a Forex impactful fact, but we will be watching it anyways. Bank holiday in Japan to start the week. We've got home loans out of Australia, new loans out of China, money supply out of China. Europe's got their Italian industrial production overnight. U.S. Treasury budget balance at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. That's something that doesn't really affect the market much. That's in the afternoon. I got the business confidence number out of New Zealand at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. Got current account out of Japan and bank lending going into Tuesday, along with their economy watcher sentiment. We've got German WPI out of Europe and French CPI out of Europe. You can see the data dump out of the UK at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. CPI, PPI, RPI, HPI, every PI you can think of. Industrial production out of Europe after that. Retail sales in the U.S., import prices, that's at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time before the stock market opens on Tuesday. Business inventories, got members of the Fed speaking, got the FPI out of New Zealand that evening. Money stock out of Japan, new motor vehicle sales out of Australia, foreign direct investment out of China, 30-year bond auction out of Japan going into heading into Wednesday, and then preliminary machine tool orders out of Japan as well. Retail sales out of Switzerland, trade balance out of Europe, that can move the market a little bit, but it's nothing we slow down for. CB leading index out of the UK, PPI out of the US. Empire State Manufacturing Index comes out at the same time. Then we've got our oil inventories beige book in the afternoon on Wednesday. Japan's got their core machinery orders and tertiary industry activity. We've got the MI inflation expectations out of Australia. Unemployment data out of Australia. Europe's got the German final CPI, Italian trade balance, the CPI data out of Europe. That can be a little bit of a mover at 5 a.m. Eastern time Thursday morning. Spanish 10-year bond auction followed by the UK 30-year bond auction. Foreign security purchases out of Canada, the CPI out of the U.S., along with our unemployment claims. The unemployment claims is a weekly number, but the CPI is a monthly number. It's one of our big three that we go half size ahead of, and half size, if we're already half size, which we are, is less than half size, as witnessed by the reason we do that is, as you can see from Friday, when the NFP data came out, caused crazy spikes in the market. We don't want to trade that junk. Philly Fed at 10, Natty Gas after that. Bernanke speaking, probably one of his last. And then Friday, consumer confidence out of Japan, French government budget balance out of Europe, German constitutional court ruling, whatever that is, PPI out of Switzerland, retail sales out of the UK, and we close up the week with a bunch of U.S. data. Housing starts, building permits, capacity utilization, industrial production, the first look at University of Michigan sentiment, for the year of 2014 and the JOLTS job openings. So there's a lot of data coming out this week. The CPI is the biggest one. We'll be watching that. That'll be will remain half size unless we see these ranges start to expand. Hope you have a great trading week. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal 11, and we'll be in the lab helping you make money.